Good morning, ma'am. I'm Abhiraj Bobudi, Recognition and Protection United Nations Education. Right to equality and non-discrimination. Remove all obstacles that prevent the equal enjoyment of all human rights, economic, social, cultural, civil, and political, including the right to development. And promote the effective implementation of national and international legal framework. Undertake undertake a comprehensive review of domestic legalization with a view to identifying and prevention that entail direct and indirect discrimination, and um, withdraw reservation country to the object and the purpose of the International Convention on the elimination of all forms of racial discrimination and consider withdrawing other reservation. Mm. Adopt or strengthen comprehensive anti-discrimination legislation and ensure its effective implementations. These are the right to equality and non-discrimination and education on equality and awareness rising. Celebrate the launch of the international decade at the national level and develop national programs of action and activities for the full and effective implementation of the decade. Raise awareness through information and education measures with a view to restoring the dignity of people of African descent and consider making available the support for the such activities to non-governmental organizations. Promote greater knowledgeable recognition of the and respect for the cultures, history, and heritage of the people of African descent, including through research and education, and promote full and accurate inclusion of the history and the contribution of the people of African descent in educational curricula. Support education and training initiative for non-governmental organization and people of African descent in the use of tools provided for international human rights instruments relating of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and relatable intoleration, and protect human rights. The term human rights was mentioned 7 times in the United Nations founding chapter, making the promotion and protection and of human rights are a key purpose and guiding principle of the organizations. The in 1948 the In 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights laid down the principles that brought human rights into the realm of international law. Since then, the organization has diligently protected human rights through legal instruments and on the ground activities. These children from the indigenous Embera people had been displaced by armed conflict in Colombia by 2006. Forced displacement is Dolby claustrophobia for indigenous communities closely linked to the land. The United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People states that indigenous people have the right to full the enjoyments as the collective or as individuals. of all human rights and fundamental freedom as recognition in the chapters of the International the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the International Human Rights Law, International Frameworks, and International Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, affirming, reaffirming recognitions, affirming that indigenous people are equal to all the other peoples while recognizing the rights of all peoples to be different, to consider themselves different, affirming also that all people contributes to diversity of richness of civilization and cultures, which constitutes the common heritage of human mankind, reaffirming, reaffirming that indigenous peoples in the exercise of their rights should be free from discrimination of any kinds. Recognition, the urgent need to respect and promote the inherent rights of the indigenous people, which derive from the political, economic, and social structure from their cultural, spiritual, traditional, historics, and philosophies, especially their rights to their lands, territories, and resources. And acknowledging that the chapter of the International Convent on Economics, Social, and Cultural rights to, and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights to, as well as a declaration program of actions affirm the fundamental importance of the rights to self-determination of all peoples, by virtue of which they freely determine their political status as freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. Mm. Against and reaffirming that indigenous individuals are entitled without discrimination to all human rights against the international law. And some articles are there. Um, Article 1, every individual has the rights to a nationality. Article 2 is indigenous people have the right to self-determination by virtue of that right they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economics, social, and cultural development. Article 3, indigenous people and the individuals are free, equal to all the other peoples and the individuals, and have the right to be free from any kinds of discrimination in the exercise of their rights, in particular that based on their indigenous origin or identity. And indigenous people have the right to maintain and strengthen their distinct political, legal, economic, social, and cultural institution, while retaining their right to participate fully if they so choose in the political, economic, social, and cultural life of the state. And Article 7, indigenous people and individuals have the right not to be subjected to be forced assimilation or discrimination. Thank you, ma'am.